Hi there, and welcome then to another episode of AppShare Live. Got loads of great presenters going to be sharing with us today. I'm really pleased to welcome Rachel Smith, who's joining us today again. We've got Nina Jackson, who's with us. Good morning, Nina. Got Laura Dickinson joining us. And we've got John Hart, Laurent Carlier, Chris Copeman, and Kat Lamin. Just to introduce you a bit more fully. Rachel, welcome. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself, where you come from, what you do, that sort of thing, please?
Hi, my name's Rachel Smith, obviously. I live on the Isle of Man, and I am a modern foreign languages teacher, and I am the digital leader at our school.
Brilliant stuff, thank you, and welcome, Rachel. Nina, hello.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Nina Jackson, aka the Ninja, because I like to move in mysterious ways. I'm at MusicMind on Twitter. I'm an education consultant, and I like to work with anybody who offers me a cup of tea and a jammy dodger.
Brilliant, thanks, Nina. And then we have Laura. Welcome, Laura.
Hi everyone, I'm Laura Dickinson. I am the e-learning lead teacher for North Tyneside Learning Trust. So I work with 46 different schools, supporting them with anything with demo lessons, team teaching, that kind of thing.
Every time I speak to you, Laura, that number gets higher and higher.
It does. Slowly growing.
It's good news, though. And then we have John. John, welcome.
Hi, I'm John. And I work in an international school in Helsinki. I work with primary children, but I do a bit of technology coaching, which lets me work with children because we go all the way up to 18 in the school. And I'm an ADE as well.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for sharing that. Welcome. You're very welcome, John. Thank you. And then we have Laurent. Laurent, where are you?
Hello, bonjour. My name is Laurent Carlier. I'm a French teacher and also an educational technology specialist. I'm based in France. Sorry, by the way, for my French accent. I speak better Japanese than English, but I don't think it would really help today. I'm very pleased to join you. Thank you.
Bonjour, Laurent. Bonjour.
Konnichiwa. Okay, and then we have Chris. Where are you in the world, Chris?
Hi everybody, thanks for having me, Mark. I'm in South Lincolnshire. I teach at a small Church of England primary school in South Lincolnshire. I'm a Year 6 teacher, an ADE as well. Just really pleased to be here. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks, Chris. Looking forward to seeing what you're sharing later. And then last but by no means least, we have Kat Lamin. Hi, Kat.
Hi there. Hi. So I'm Kat. I'm a primary school teacher in an independent school in London. So I'm really croaky. I've had parents' evening week, so I'm sure you can all appreciate how exhausting that is. And I am the computing coordinator at my school. So I love talking about tech.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about what you've been doing outside of school as well to promote computing?
Yeah, I'm also a Raspberry Pi certified educator and an Apple Distinguished Educator. So I've been doing lots of work organising coding evenings, which are informal social events for teachers and community members to talk about how to teach the computing curriculum. We have one roughly once a month, and they've become quite successful across the southeast of England.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much for sharing. I've heard some really great things, and it's sort of moving around the country. Other people sort of starting at similar things as well.
Yep. So at the moment there's one in Southend, Peterborough, West Berks, Horsham, and hopefully one in Jersey starting soon.
Wow. Does that mean some travel over to the Channel Islands for you then?
Hopefully in the future.
Fingers crossed. But brilliant. Thanks for joining us, Kat. So going back then to Rachel. Rachel's going to present for us first. Each presenter has roughly 6 minutes to present on their different ideas. The idea behind AppShare Live is for us to share things that we've been using in lessons or with teachers and what have you, to have a positive impact on learning using iPads and what have you in the classroom. So presenters, if you just turn your microphones off for me, please, and then I'll hand over to Rachel. Thank you, Rachel.
Right, I am going to do this. And I'm going to say, can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Try that again.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. Lovely. I'm a modern foreign languages teacher, and obviously, like all linguists, I absolutely love to talk. And actually, if you talk to most modern foreign languages teachers, the reason they became a linguist in the first place is they like to have a bit of a blather. But most of our kids actually find it very, very uncomfortable to talk in a foreign language, particularly as they're just learning. And I find iPad really, really useful because kids can actually hide behind the app. and they can become somebody else. So we're going to look at, I'm going to be a bit of a cheat, we're going to look at 3 apps today, and I've got to go super quickly, but it gives the kids the ability to have another persona. So my first app, and some of you will probably have heard of it, is Yakit Kids. Yakit Kids enables you to make an inanimate object animate. It also enables you to make a famous person talk if you download their photo from the web. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a Yakit, and we start here. I'm ready, prepared, and I've got my 2 vegetables ready. The kids often take pictures of their pencil cases or water bottles or whatever. Next, what it enables you to do is it allows you to add a mouth, and as you can see, when I'm adding that mouth's talking already. And I'm going to stick some eyes on my celery. Here we go. And my eyes will start to blink. We'll make this guy a little bit grumpy, I think. We'll make my pepper quite grumpy. And we'll give him some grumpy eyes. And so there we go. We've got our 2 talking pieces of vegetables. And when you tap on the mouth, it starts to talk. And you tap on the other one, and that starts to talk. And so this enables, particularly in modern languages, for us to be able to have paired conversations, which is why I like it so much. Once I tell the kids to have a little practice, and once they're ready, they can press record. It counts you down for 3. You get 30 seconds of recording, but of course you could make a number of these and drop them into iMovie or whatever to stitch a few recordings together. So we'll have a little go. Salut, salut, ça va? Ça va très bien. Tu aimes Upshare Live? Oui, bien sûr. So we've got our little recording there. Salut, ça va? Ça va très bien. Tu aimes Upshare Live? Oui, bien sûr. Okay, and it plays it back for you, and then you can change the pitch if you don't really want it to sound like your voice. You can make yourself sound really high or really low. You can re-record the scene if it's gone a little bit haywire. And the great thing about this app is it saves to camera roll. So there we go. We can save it to our camera roll, and then we can do whatever we like with it. So that's my first little app. The next one we're going to have a look at is something called Chatterpix. And in Chatterpix, this is made by Duck Moose. There are other ones around, but make sure you get this one. This is dead simple to use. When you open it up, now I've already got, here we go, I already have a bear picture. And all you do with Chatterpix is that you draw a mouth on it. Let me just go back, sorry. I may need to take a photo. I'll actually take a photo of my mug. Here we go. Oops, there we go. And what you do is then you draw a mouth, and you can start speaking for 30 seconds, and you can say whatever you like. Once you press stop and you play, the mouth talks, as you can see. Okay. You can put stickers on, so we can put some glasses on my mug, and we can give him a hat, and so on. And you can put a frame around it and whatever. And the kids quite like doing that. And once again, you can share it to your camera roll, and you can do whatever you like with it. So that's my second little app. And my third one, and I have to say I haven't used this in a classroom, but Mark put me onto this the other day, and this is Masquerade. Masquerade reminds me a little bit of Snapchat. You know, you can put different faces on yourself in Snapchat. So here we go. I like this one. You can lift your head and the mask comes up, and you can nod your head and the mask goes down, and you can change yourself into all kinds of, this is horrible, this one, into all kinds of people. And when you're ready to go, you can just press record, and you can record yourself talking. And once we're done, Just give it a second. It will save it straight to your camera roll for you. And it just enables the children to be able to speak in the foreign language without having really to worry about being themselves. They can actually be somebody else. And I find the applications just really useful. And you get very good results out of reluctant students, shy students, students who just ordinarily wouldn't respond in a classroom. Because as I said at the beginning, you can effectively hide behind your iPad or hide behind your iPad app, and you can become somebody else entirely. And I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much indeed, Rachel.
Oh, hang on. I'm going to need to take my screen sharing off. There we go.
Brilliant. Thank you, Rachel. I love Yakit and Chatpics, and Masquerade has been fantastic. I used it with some Year 5s last week, and yeah, they just have so much fun whilst they're doing it, and yeah, it's just really, really powerful. Did anybody have any questions for Rachel about any of those? Just go like that if you.
I mean, I think the thing for me is that they're just dead simple to use. You know, I've done that in what, 4 or 5 minutes, and so particularly for plenaries at the end of a modern foreign languages lesson or any kind of lesson, you can dead quickly just create something and put it into your camera roll and put it into your Google Classroom or wherever you share all these things with your students. So the fact that they don't have they're not faffy apps is basically why I like them as well.
Brilliant, thank you so much, Rachel. I agree that the simplicity of it all makes it so easy, so you can focus on the learning activity. So brilliant. Thank you very much for sharing. Laura, are you ready? I'm going to jump to you now, if that's okay.
Of course it is, no problem at all.
Brilliant stuff. So over to you then, Laura.
Thank you. I'm just going to share my screen. Can you see that now?
Yep, no problem.
Perfect. Great. Now, I know Seesaw's already been covered by the lovely Pamela. Hi, Pamela. Already, but I just wanted to show it how I've been using it with North Tyneside Learning Trust. So I absolutely love Seesaw. I think it's great. The Yakit Kids that Rachel's just been shown there, and anything that you can go onto your camera roll can go straight into Seesaw. And it's a great way. I know that when I first started using iPads in the classroom, we didn't have AirDrop, so I used to have to run around all of the iPads on a break time, put in my email address and send everything to myself, which was an absolute nightmare. So what I thought I would do is use Seesaw, and it's absolutely great. So for those of you who haven't seen it before, I'm just going to load up the main screen. So when the children sign in via a QR code, or if you sign in as a teacher, then you get this screen. So what you can do is you can do some submit evidence through photo and video, which comes straight through the app. So if I just tap on photo here, it brings up my camera roll. Now, one of the great features about this now is that if you take a photo, it'll actually recognise that it's a bit of paper and it'll crop it down, which is really, really useful. And then I can just press that green tick in the top right-hand corner. At this point here, I can then start to annotate my evidence, which is great. So for those children who can't write things down, they can press the record button. So they now get 5 minutes of record time that they can pause and play if they need to. But what I love about it is that you can actually, at the bottom where the pencil tool is, you can actually press the record button, and it not only records your sound, but it also records your animations that you're doing. So I can just circle myself here. And this is great for doing, if you want to do like green for go and pink to think, you can actually just start to look at all of the different parts. You press the green tick in the top right hand corner and it makes that into a video for you. Just preview that. And this is great for doing, if you want to do like green for go and pink to think, you can actually just start to look at all of the different parts. You press the green tick and then you just press that green tick. Then at that point what you can do is you can share it with a number of students if you want to, or you could do it to everybody. And then you can select a folder, and what it does, it uploads it and puts it onto the Facebook timeline almost. Now, what I love about this is not only can you do all of the different evidence here, so just talking about what Rachel was saying before, I had an event where I actually made Steve McLaren talk at an AppShare at a conference that I was at. I should have really used rough up in ears, but it was Steve McLaren at the time. But again, you can put videos straight into Seesaw, so straight from your camera roll. Again, you just go through, you choose the child, press the green tick, you can put it into a folder, and then that's there. So what's great is, for me, are you still there?
Yeah, we're still here. You went quiet for a second.
Yeah, sorry about that. It disappeared for a minute there. So what you can actually do is you can go through and you can filter through by folders. So if I wanted to have a look at all of the literacy work that had been done, I can pull it all through that way. And you can do that either for the whole class or you can do that for individual children. But what's great is that you can actually use a blog feature as well. So instead of having to have a separate blog, underneath each bit of evidence, there's actually a blog button that you can press and it'll just publish straight to the blog. And at the top right hand corner, you can check that there to make sure that it's there, and it all runs down, which is great. For me, however, though, working with all of the 46 different schools that I work with, it's really hard to get around everywhere and see what everybody's doing. So what we've done is we've created things like classes, but instead of it being children down the side, we've actually got schools. So it's a great way of being able to check what everybody else is doing without having to kind of go and visit all of the time. So we've got one set up for a Digital Leader Academy where I can go in and have a look to see what one of my schools is doing with their screencasts, which is great. And it just means that everybody gets that idea of what everybody's doing without having to constantly contact via email. It's also great for doing things like projects that I've been doing with the girls down at the WOW Zone, Lisa and Louise, who are ADEs down there. We're busy working on a North Tyneside Skies, Withenshaw Skies project, which came out of the ADE conference that the girls went to in the summer. And what we're just basically doing is we're doing the same kind of units of work, but we're sharing them through Seesaw so that the girls are sharing their ideas and I'm sharing mine and the work that the children do. And it's a great way of putting all of it together. And the other way that we've used it as well is, especially with moderation and assessment without levels, we've put a group of schools together with the Great North Maths Hub to be able to look at mastery and how that actually looks in different schools. So again, instead of having the children down the side, we've actually put schools, so I can actually go in and see what work's being produced at each school, but also in terms of each year group, we've put folders in. So if I wanted to have a look at what mastery looked like in year 1, it brings that evidence up. Or if I wanted to have a look at what mastery looked like in year 3, it also brings all of that evidence up as well. So yeah, Seesaw's great for using it in your classroom and collecting evidence, but in terms of a wider way of being able to get evidence from right across schools, it's a brilliant way of being able to pull all of those things together. And I think as well, for Seesaw being a free app, it's absolutely brilliant. So if I just jump off my iPad now, you should be able to see me. Am I back?
You're back in the room.
Yeah. So yeah, it is. It's brilliant, and I've found that so many schools. I mean, I've got schools who are using it in reception with their children. I've got schools who are using it right up in year 8, and we've got some universities who are looking at it for more of the practical subjects for those students who can't actually physically get anything written down, but they can video themselves doing any practical mechanics things or anything like that, and it's worked really, really well.
Brilliant. Thank you for sharing. Anybody have any questions about this? No, you might get those out.
Okay.
Talking about you. Just look at hashtag AppShare.
Perfect, I'll do that.
Brilliant. Okay, thanks very much, Laura. Okay, if you just mute yourself then, brilliant. And then John, you ready to present?
I am.
Brilliant stuff. Okay, over to you.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about virtual tours. I know in the last episode Mark showed Google Maps and how you could use that. I'm going to go into using some iBeacons with Locally, and also how I then put it into more of a, not offline, but so you don't actually have to be there to make a tour using ThingLink. So if we go into Locally first, I'm just going to share my screen. Is that? Do you have my screen? Yep.
Yeah, I've got your screen looking at myself at the moment, though.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay, so this is in Locally, so obviously you need an account and you need the iBeacons, but once you've got those things, it's based on making places and cards. So here's my project. It's called Every Building Has a Story to Tell. So if I go in and edit that, you can see what's there already. So I've got these different places, and you can create the place, and when you do that, this is what it'll look like. So within that place you can have a picture to show what that place is, to represent it, and you give it a name, and then down here you can see the different cards. So this was the reason I went with Locally is it was really great to be able to show the different languages. These are the languages of the children in my class. So we've got quite a few different languages in there, and I wanted them to be people to be able to access these different languages from the one location. So Locally was really great for this. So first of all, there's an info page, but then when they go in the app, they'll find, well, actually, this is more to do with making it. So here, I'll write a description so they can see some text. You can add video, which we'll come to in a second, and you can also upload widgets. So I made some widgets to compare, or the children did, to compare the locations as they are now with a photograph and in the past. And there's actually a book widget that can help you do that. So probably the best way to show what it looks like is to show a quick video. This is the video we made to show how it works. I'll just play this. Hopefully you've got the sound.
So once you have the Locally app installed and an active data connection, you can start to visit the locations on the tour. When you get near enough to one of the locations, the content will display on your iDevice like this. If you're at a location and the content isn't showing up, you may just need to swipe down to refresh the app. At each location, you tap the flag to choose to access the content in your preferred language. There's text to read and pictures, as well as the video content, which you simply tap to play. We recommend using headphones to get the best experience. To choose your language, simply swipe through until you find your preferred option, and then enjoy the content. There are 8 locations and around 1 kilometre of walking involved to complete it, so it's great for families with young children. When you're ready to move on, simply tap the Google Maps widget and a scalable map will appear with the route and beacon locations marked on it. We hope you enjoy our tour.
Okay, so that kind of explains how it works. The different cards are, you can make as many as you like. The one thing that I spoke to Locally about changing is that each time I kind of had to just duplicate each card and then make the things, not duplicate each card, sorry, duplicate each place and then make the cards again. That was a bit of a pain. But apart from that, it's really easy to do. The website themselves, Locally's website, has a lot of really good tutorials to help you. I've also made an iBook as well as part of my work as an ADE, so I can tweet a link for that as well. I found that it was really annoying because being in Finland, it got really cold, so people couldn't wander around Helsinki holding these devices. And to kind of tide us over, the kids wanted and the parents wanted to see the work that we'd done. So I put it into a ThingLink. So that's the next thing I'm going to show you. So here's the ThingLink, and I'll show you how I went about that as well. So now basically it's giving the same thing. So if this was the location the children are at now, so if I tap on there, you can see this, and then I've got the different languages here. So when I tap to play, you get the YouTube video. I hope you see that.
Did you know that this park was once just a place for cows to graze?
And so that's I've used Telegami to make the videos with that, with a green screen background with some video recorded. So to make the ThingLink, if I just go back to make the backgrounds, first of all, I just used Pages. So in Pages, I had the photo. I've got some little pictures of maps. It's really easy to bring the maps in and resize them. All right, Pages is great for this, to make things look neat and tidy. Brings it into shape. And then I was just taking a screenshot using Shift Command and 4. Screening effect. Go back into ThingLink. I'm going to create it. It's another thing you need an account for, but I'm going to create a new one up here. I'm going to choose my image from my hard drive that I've just stored, and mine are in the screenshots. And there's my image. Oh no, I just took a new one. That's one thing to remember, actually. When you take a screenshot, you need to just make sure you've clicked off of the image you've just brought in, or else you get the little squares there. So here, that was one I did earlier. So here is my image. It's going to come in. And now it's just click to tag. So when I click the place, I get my little, I can change that if I want to change what that looks like. But I've already got on my clipboard, I've got a video YouTube address, so I've just copied and pasted that in, save the tag, and now when that's clicked, when we go into it, it'll play the video. So I also want to link this to my main page. So I've got lots of different links all linked together. So I'm just going to copy this address, save that image, and when I'm in, go back into my main, into me, where I've got my main page, where all the different ThingLinks are linked here. And then on here, I'd just make another, if I go into edit, I'll just make another place for the location that I'm going to link to by tapping on the screen. So you can put different text there, you can put pictures there, you can do lots of, I'm going to show something very quickly in a moment, but then I just link to that ThingLink page, ThingLinked image, save the tag, and then when I click on that one, when I'm in it, it'll take me through to there. Okay, one last thing I want to show about ThingLink very quickly, conscious of time, is they're about to introduce a kind of 360 VR element. And so I'll just bring up my iPad, I hope. Somewhere here, yep. Okay, so this is a nice one, video of Tahiti. Just close off that. So now, oh, why is that still there? I don't know why that's there. I think we're having a little bit of technical problems here with the sharing, but I'll just play the video anyway. And what I'm doing is I'm holding my iPad, and as I move the iPad around, you can see that the video on the screen moves as well. So here's some lovely pictures of Tahiti. If I want to find out about this, I'm just going to touch it up there, and there's something up at the top there, so you can see I get some information there about the mountain peaks. And this, obviously, I'm dying to get to grips with this. I spoke to ThingLink. I wanted to be able to show a bit more of this, but this is in beta, and by the end of the month, they say, I'll be able to get my hands on this to be able to do some of this myself. So I want to bring this into my tour of Helsinki as well. Unfortunately, I couldn't show how to do that today, but maybe that will be one for next time. Using this with Google Cardboard or something like that is where I want to go, so I'm looking forward to trying that in the future. And that, I'll switch that off. That is that. I've got so much stuff on my screen now, I've got to find my way back in to the Hangout. one of these two. There we go. Right. Okay. Just turn off my screen share, and that's it. That's all from me.
Brilliant stuff, Johnny. Thank you ever so much. I love what you can do with iBeacons, and how you've tied it into ThingLink as well is awesome. I've been a massive fan of ThingLink for a long, long time. I love like when you do it on iPad as well. You can use the camera on your iPad to just film stuff yourself and upload it straight away and all the rest of it too. I haven't seen before though that immersive video and what have you that you.
Brand new. It's just coming. It's literally the beta. I said, please, can I get it now to be able to show it? And they said it's just not ready. It'll be ready by the end of the month. So.
Yeah, well, that is amazing. I share a lot about it. Like you saw the Google Street View, how you can build your own.
Added interactivity.
I've seen another app recently as well called Spinnable, which enables you to sort of make your own videos and things. But being able to tie it into a ThingLink is absolutely brilliant because you can embed so much other learning within there.
It wasn't here, but I saw somewhere they had it on Mars. So it was literally panning around Mars. You can imagine that with a Google cardboard on, and you just stood there looking about. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, me too. That is awesome. Thank you ever so much for sharing, Sean. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right then. So over to Laurent. Laurent, are you ready to share?
Yeah, I'm ready. Very interesting, John. It's nice thing to use ThingLink. Very nice app. Okay, let's go for the sharing screen. Do you see my screen, Mark?
Yep.
Okay, so today I will talk about InfoPics, and I will show you 3 apps to create it. An InfoPic is a photo with text on it that is designed to communicate a message. This message could be a summary, a quote, a definition, or a proverb. And the first app will be the Color Pop Effects, which is free, I think, from the App Store. The second will be Over, which is also free. And the last one will be Pass On, which is €1.99 on the App Store. Okay, let's share my screen, my iPad screen. Okay, wait a second. Do you see my iPad, Mark?
Yep.
Okay, fine. So let's start with the first sequence. My student watched a movie about the First World War, and I asked them to choose a character and present him with few words. So first, they take a screen captures from the movie, for example, this one, and to focus on the main character, on this person, they use the color pop effects. And I will open the app. So you open the app and you choose from the camera roll the picture you want to. For example, this one. And then it's black and white. And then from this part, you can recolor the parts you want. It's very simple. It's very fast and easy to do it. And when it's done, you save it on your camera roll. I will not do this right now, but I will switch on the second app, the Over app, to make an InfoPics. So I will open it. Take a second to do this. Okay. Maybe I can resize my iPad. Oops, sorry for this. Okay. Okay, then I put news and I choose the pictures. And then you can add text, and you have a bunch of options from the wait a second. On the left side, you can change colors, font, etc. So I will start with the name of this person. His name Manek, and then he comes from Brittany, and he is the fiancé of Mathilde, for example. Oops, sorry for the And then I click down, and then after I can change the alignment. I put like this, and then once again the font. Oops. This one, and I slide it to make it good. And this is on the left side, and on the right side I will describe him with another text. So I put done. And I will say, before he was brave. Oh, sorry. And now he's afraid of everything. Etc., etc. Once again, I can change the alignment and then the font. Oh, let me see. I will pick up the first one, etc., etc. When it's done, you can save it in a camera roll. I will show you the final result made by my students, and it will be like this one. So it's pretty nice. You have the name of the person, and then on the right side, everything which is describing through the movies. So it's nice to make an infopics and describe person from the movies. So this is the second app. The last one is Pass On, and Pass On is very good to do poetry or proverbs. And I will launch the app. This one. So I ask my students to work with proverbs in English and French. So they choose, once again, you can choose a picture from your camera roll. I will say, sorry for the mess, I have too much pictures on it. Okay, wait a second. Okay, I will take this one. And from these pictures, I can choose the format. I will keep this one, and I will draw a line with my fingers like this, and a second line like this. And I will put the proverb like this one. I can change the size like this, and I can change the color of this one, the font also. Okay, for this. Mark, do you know this proverb in English? Can you find a proverb in English with that?
I don't know.
With a stone and a mouse?
A rolling stone gathers no moss.
Exactly.
There you go.
It's the same thing. Oops, sorry for this. Gather no moss, etc., etc. Oops, sorry. And when it's done, you can save it on your camera roll. Nice, right?
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay. And I'm done with that.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, Laurent. Just come back to you in a second, Laurent. I just heard on Twitter that we're trending on Twitter at the moment, which is pretty cool. Laurent, thank you very much for sharing those 3 apps.
Yeah.
Have you got the names again of those 3 apps for us?
The first, do you want me to share my screen one more time with the 3 apps?
Hold it there for a second, give people a chance to get a screen grab of it or
something like
that.
Do you see them?
Yeah, brilliant. Color pop effects, over and path on. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Right, so over to Chris then. Chris, are you ready?
Hello. Yes, I think so.
Cool. Go for it then.
Okay, I'm just going to find my screen. Okay, can you see that? Is that okay? Yeah, lovely. Okay, the app I'm going to show today is one based around the idea that we have to teach some element of coding in the national curriculum now. So, no, don't laugh, Kat. So I kind of turned around and said to our teachers at school last year that we had to do this and got a lot of worried looks. So we needed kind of a nice way in to give people a stepping stone. I can't actually take credit for finding this. It was some of our digital leaders, our Year 6 children, that found it and really liked it, and we thought this was a nice way to start. So it's called Pixel Press Floors. The first thing we get the children to do is we actually get them to play some other games that other people have created. So if you tap the play option, it brings up an arcade gallery of all the different levels that other people have created, and they're created in the style of just side-scrolling platform games. So they're nice and simple, but they're also nice and simple to create, which I'll show you in a minute. Just choose one of these very quickly. Choose one all the way. They do come up, but internet in South Lincolnshire is still a thing of magic and wonder. So the beauty of it is, of course, once the children have created their own levels, they can publish it to this arcade and other people can go on and play them and edit them as well. There we go. Right, so this is the traditional level style. You get 3 little side-scrolling levels you can play. And straight away, I'm getting caught out by this one. So you got basic controls, bottom left corner, bottom right corner. It's like the old Game Boy. You can left and right with the controls, and A jumps and B strikes. And there's endless possibilities with what can be created. And so a nice little thing to do to start, oh, I got killed, a nice little thing to do to start with the children is just to let them play some of these games to get the idea of how it's controlled and to start questioning them as to, well, how do you think those blocks are made to fall away? Why do we need coins? How would we put the coins in? How is it important? How do we get our character to move? How does the character respond to all the different things? And when you get to the end of the level, you get up to the next level, and you get 3 different levels per level that you can create. So if I come out of that very quickly, I can show you how we go about creating levels of our own. And like I say, to start with, we'd get the children just to play through a few levels, just to get the idea of the basic controls, and then we'd start getting them into this side of things, which is hopefully the create side. It is a bit slow dependent on the device you use. I've got quite an old little iPad mini here, so it's taking time to load a bit. Right, we come out back to the main screen where we have create. We can start creating our own levels, and this is kind of where we like to think the mini coding element comes in. So if we tap start new level, we get a number of options. You can either draw straight in the app, or you get with the app a link to some squared paper that can be printed off, and you can actually get the children to draw their level, draw the symbols for their level on the paper, and then the iPad will scan it in and create the level from the paper. Again, it depends on the hardware you've got. So if you've got an older iPad mini like this one, it won't pick it up so well, but I'm told that the newer iPads and iPhones and iPods do that really, really well. I'm going to tap draw in app, and show you some of the basic tools that we start with, and we get the children, no I'm not, and get some of the children to start with, because there's actually just a pencil tool, and they can start drawing basic polygons and shapes for the character to jump over, and then as you go through the app more, you can add in the falling blocks and the spikes and coins and teleporters, and the minute you mention teleporters to children, they're immediately hooked. Hopefully it's going to show me soon. Create. Right, so we'll start a new level and we'll draw it in the app. Hopefully. There we go. So this is the basic format that you get. You've got all 3 levels there. So the character starts at the bottom and runs from left to right on the first level, then goes up to the second level, runs from left to right, and does the same on the top level. You'll notice we've got tools down the bottom. It's same navigation as it would be on a photo, so pinch and zoom with 2 fingers zooms you in, and you can see there's a grid formation. If I just take the pencil tool and start drawing on there, straight away I've drawn a polygon. I've drawn a rectangle. And then we can draw perhaps another one here, and we've linked them, so we have a rubber tool, just rub that out. Now, our argument with this is it gets the children used to the fact that they need to input some sort of symbol or shape for it to be represented on the represented in the final product. We can then hit this play icon at the top and actually test it. So what it will do is it will create a base texture. It will just do a base texture pack, and we can test it with our little character. So we'll need to double jump to get up there. Yeah, that's good enough. We can jump over to the different polygon and go over to the square there. Of course, at the moment, the level's a bit boring because we just run along to the end, so we're done testing. So we kind of built on the debug side, the make sure you've got the right symbols in the right place. As we go along the tools at the bottom, you get some spikes. So if we draw some of these in very quickly and then go testing, suddenly our level's a lot more difficult. We double jump up to the top, and we have to jump over those, otherwise you get killed. You get 3 lives for each level, and there you go. So done testing. You can also add different things such as bombs, walls, teleporters, falling blocks as well, and you can add some lava. So if I draw a little lake here for our lava to go into. One thing of note, if you're drawing objects like this on the floor and you draw something simply like that, the iPad won't recognise that that's a rectangle because you haven't drawn across the bottom to complete the object. And that's something that the children sometimes get a bit confused about, but it also helps them because they can go back and check it and debug it and make sure they've got everything in the right place. So if we have a look, and we now put here this symbol, so the children have to go through and learn what all the symbols do as well and where to use them. And if we even put in some of these like this, that should, notice use of the word should, have created some lava for us to try and negotiate. No, it hasn't. Typical. So I've done something wrong there, and the conversation you would have with the children would be, well, what have you done? Do you need to change the symbols? Have you got the right ones? And they can very quickly draw back over the symbols and see what they've done wrong. And we'll try that again. If I can get through my own level. Which I can't. So I'm going to say I'm done testing. And cheat and make it a little bit easier across the bottom, and then I should have my lava in on the other side of the level. But the beauty of this as well is once you've finished it, and with a few small in-app purchases, you can also add some texture packs and some enemies, and you can start basically introducing children to some of the small elements, some of the processes behind coding, hopefully. So they need a symbol to make something happen. They need it in the right place. If there's a mistake, they can go back and test it, and they can change different things. Now, we actually did this with our Year 5 and 6 children last year, put them into mixed year groups, got them to create their own computer game companies, design a small platform game using this app. They blogged about the creation of that game. They even wrote their own version of App Store reviews on each other's games, and that was really impressive because they found a lot of the things that I didn't know how to do. They found a lot of the different texture packs once you finished. So you go into the design tab across the top. Some of the other texture packs are in-app purchases, but actually we found we got away a lot of the times with just adding some of the different, just having some of the basic ones here. So you can add different backgrounds in. Your lava can be a different color. The levels, so the things that I drew with the code and the blocks, are different things. You can also change your character. So you can have a worm that jumps around. You can have Redford Grants, which is one of the children's particular favourites, because they love the idea of an old man jumping around levels and beating people up with his stick. Is it coding? That could be debated, but we kind of thought so because it also helped teacher confidence and it gave the pupils a nice entry level as well. I hope that's okay. I'm just going to turn my screen share off very quickly and go back to everyone. Should be me. Is that okay? Can you see me now?
Yeah, we can see you now.
Ah, lovely. Okay.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you ever so much, Chris. I would say absolutely that is coding, and just because you're using a visual editor doesn't mean to say that the rules and things that you're doing are wrong. You're seeing various iterations and development of the app. You're debugging it. Just because you're not using line code doesn't mean to say that you're not actually doing some programming. And I see on Twitter loads and loads of different schools using this and having some fantastic results from it as well. So listen, thank you so much for sharing, Chris. I think it was a brilliant idea, and I've seen lots of sort of feedback on Twitter already. People saying great things and great about your presentation. So thank you very much indeed.
No problem. Thank you.
Cool. Over to Kat now. Then, Kat, are you ready?
No pressure whatsoever going last here.
I'll have a go in a minute, and Nina's going to be on in just a second as well. So you're not dead last. Okay, over to you then, Kat.
Okay, everyone's just been talking about so many amazing things. I'm a little bit nervous now. So I'm going to talk about using animation in the classroom. I'm actually going to talk a little bit about how we've used iPads generally, because one of the things we did in our Year 5, which is where we do one-to-one iPad deployment, was that we decided that it was quite important in our computing curriculum to teach them how to use the iPads effectively. So we decided that animation was quite a useful tool for that. We were studying history we were studying Greeks in history at the time. So we decided that it would be quite nice to do a project where they had to create animations based around ancient Greek myths. So the first thing we did, because we're a Google school, was that we sent them all a document that just said, here's the story you're doing, find out who's in your group. So if I just quickly show you that, hopefully you can now see my folder in Google with all the different things in. So I just gave them the title of a Greek myth and said, pick one of them. Sorry, not pick, you are doing that one, and you have to find out who's in your group and decide what you need to make your animation. Now, we decided they were going to bring their own Lego in. So I'll show you a couple of the documents that the children produced. This one just says, here's what you need to bring. You need Hades, you need a column. Sophia's going to bring in a blue board for the sea. And then you've got one here where they've written an entire script. Who's going to say what? I think they were probably being a bit optimistic, creating that much animation. But that was their plan. Now I've got to figure out how to go back. Oh, gosh. So we decided that the app we were going to use was Stop Motion Studio. So I'm going to show you now, again, hopefully, if everything goes to plan, my iPad. She says optimistically. So Stop Motion Studio is a completely free app, but in order to edit it, you're going to need to get some in-app purchases. But I'll talk about that later. So it's really, really easy to use. If you click on the plus sign, you create a new stop motion. So at the moment, you can just see my laptop, which is less than exciting. But down here, I have a few characters. Some of you may recognize this one. My niece visited recently, and she's a big fan of the Octonauts. Who's not going to stand up. But it's very much a case of tap here to add some pictures, as you can see, move them a little bit, and build up a bank of images. I'm going to go back to that picture so you're not staring at my screen. If you have a look, you can see that just by tapping on an image, you can add text, you can add audio, you can crop it, erase it, and do various different things with it. You can slide back and add a picture in at an earlier point if you really want to. You can play back what you've seen. On the left-hand side, you can see the translucency bar. I like to see what my previous picture is so that I can make sure my movements are very small. So we can make very, very simple animations using Stop Motion Studio. What I did with the children was, first of all, they just had a rubber or a pencil sharpener and they had to animate it across the desk just to see how animation worked, to try and keep things very, very simply. So I've just seen somebody say I'm very croaky on Twitter. So yesterday I sat and had a play with it and did a 81 reel animation there. And one of the things that we noticed was that the children tend to not notice shadows and things like that, which, as you may notice on mine, there are lots of ridiculous shadows all the way along it, because my head and my hand got in the way. So you can do a lot of tweaking with this in-app, but what I prefer to do is actually to export it, because from 2013, every iPad has got, from September 2013, new iPads have got iMovie automatically on them. So we decided to export them to iMovie, which I've now got to find on my iPad. This could be interesting. Because then you can do some really cool things, like add in some media. So maybe I want to put in some theme music. I know you can't hear this from my iPad, but you've got all the Apple ones. You decide where you want it to go, click on it, and drop it in. You might want to add some sound effects. So maybe you want to make electricity, or frogs, or even hydraulics. Who knows what you want to add? You can add text really easily. Simply by clicking at the bottom, you can crop your file and add your audio by clicking on the microphone in the left, so that you are ready to record. Tap record. Oh no, there's a dragon. And you can make your video. You can decide if you don't like your audio to redo it. That's entirely up to you. Sorry, I'm really croaky. And the children really enjoyed this project. They spent about 3 or 4 weeks creating them by the time they'd done the animation, added the voices, and obviously there was a couple of weeks before that doing the planning. And some of them sort of did about 10 shots and said, oh, I'm done. And we had to tell them to go back and redo it. So I'm going to show you now my finished ridiculous video that I made last night. And hopefully you won't laugh too much. This 17 seconds worth of video was 80 shots, I believe. And I kept the frame speed quite slow. So yeah, I'm a bit childish with the things I do. So did you all see that okay? And children really like that because it's so simple to create a stop motion animation. It's just a case of clicking a few buttons on your iPad, and then they all really enjoyed putting their own voiceovers on it, and it was quite a nice way to find out about the Greek myths. And then at the end of the term we had a big movie screening afternoon where they all sat together on the floor and watched each other's movies and gave some feedback, and they really enjoyed the project as a whole. So that's me done.
Brilliant. Thank you ever so much for sharing that, Kat. I've seen so much great use of stop frame animation in lots of different ways. Like you've been showing there, I've also seen some stuff in Rachel's class, actually. There's a lovely little video of a child doing her French and sort of talking about being Batman and what have you. It's brilliant. The work of AD Catherine Jesse, you'll probably know, and down at Hove Park, sort of showcasing processes and things like that in science. There's so many brilliant ways in which you can use it. So thank you very much indeed for bringing that app and that idea and what have you. I've not seen it being used in that way demonstrated, so thank you very much for sharing. Thank you, Kat. Any questions for Kat at all from anybody? Give me a nod or a shake or turn your microphone off. No? Okay, cool, brilliant. Okay, so thank you then, Kat, and then now over to Nina. Nina, are you ready? Just put your microphone back on, Nina. I can see that you're sharing.
Okay.
Nina. Ah, there you go. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we'll do that once again. Make sure that it's all up and running. Okay, everybody should be seeing my really fantastic iPad with my 648 emails. Haven't checked. Okay. Welcome this morning. I'm you on a very whistle-stop tour about Telegami Edu. Why am I going simplicity but yet complexity this morning? Because I want to come from an SEN point of view, and earlier on Rachel was talking about communication and children not always wanting to be able to see themselves, but to be able to create an avatar or hide something. Well, this is often a problem when we've got students who've got speech communication and language difficulties, and not necessarily from a therapeutic point of view, but think of it as a learning journey, think of it as sharing something. Not necessarily be able to do if they would have to stand up in a classroom. And of course, looking at it from a flipped and blended learning point of view as well, great to make amazing stuff at home and share and get parents involved as well. So I'm going to go the Telegami Edu version, which is the paid version. It adds a little bit extra because you get lots more features. So wait for it. Today I'm going to choose to be a rather gorgeous female. So you can see on the right hand side I can change my gender if I really want to, change the eye colour, which is very, very important obviously to have good connection with your students, the head size. Today, because I'm obviously looking very glamorous with my hair up in black, I'm going to have not a very revealing top, but go rather casual, with a little bit of dodgy bottoms and some really trendy trainers. How am I feeling today, everybody? Because I'm going to be sharing on Upshare Live. Am I really surprised, scared, silly, sad, or happy? Well, actually, I'm really happy to be able to be sharing some of my thinking. So on the left-hand side, you can see that we now go to a background. And what you didn't realise was earlier on, while some of you were talking, I was listening and writing, but I did also create something using Typorama and Repics. So I can just pop that in as my background, and this could be something the students have learned, or maybe trying to remember some key features for a student who's got dyslexia in a science class, and they can take clips of different parts of the experiment and then can drop them into Moldiv or photo collage. And for me right now, I think what I'm going to do is I just want to make myself a little bit of a recording to really happy to be here on Upshare Live today. So you'll now see I've got a message button there. I can tap the message, and in this Telegami Edu version I've got 90 seconds to be able to record a short app. Or you have the option on the text part.
Hello, my name is Zoe. My name is Natsuko.
But I think actually for me, I'd like to use my own voice today, and I'm going to try and sound rather posh. So here we go. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Upshare Live episode 4. You will see that we have the rather amazing ICT evangelist in the background, stunningly covered with hearts and cracks and things from Repics and Music Mind using Typorama earlier on. Along the bottom of the screen we have some other amazing app sharers as well, and do check into YouTube later on where you can have a look at all of the ideas that they have been doing. Now I have to tell you I am looking rather stunning today on this Telegami Edu. I do look rather slim and trim, don't you think? Who needs Weight Watchers when you've got Telegami Edu? But anyway, I'll leave you for now and give you the opportunity to think about where's the learning in that, everybody, with Telegami Edu. So it's analysing my voice. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode 4. You will see that we have the rather amazing ICT evangelist in the background, stunningly covered with hearts and cracks and things from Repics and Music Mind using Typorama earlier on. Along the bottom of the screen we have some other amazing app sharers as well, and do check into YouTube later on where you can have a look at all of the ideas that they have been sharing. Now I have to tell you I am looking rather stunning today on this Telegram. If I do look rather slim and trim, don't you think? Who needs Weight Watchers when you've got Telegami Edu? But anyway, I'll leave you for now and give you the opportunity to think about where's the learning in that, everybody, with Telegami Edu. Okay, I'm sort of quite happy for that, just to be able to share it with you. So I'm going to go to share, and of course I'm going to save it and make sure that it's in my camera roll, because I might want to pop it into another app later on at some point. Normally it's a pretty quick sort of save tool, and you can crop it, put it into iMovie, have loads of things to be able to share via your Air server or your Apple TV and various things like that. So whilst that's actually saving to my camera roll, I do want to ask you all who are watching AppShare Live this morning, if you had Telegami Edu in your classroom, how would you use it in your subject? How would you use it as a differentiated and inclusive tool to allow all children to have access to be able to share their learning so that they don't feel oppressed or their self-esteem is low, but mainly to use as a confidence tool and to be able to track amazing thinking. So there you have it, and it's gone into my camera roll. Now, what I do have for you as a little extra this morning is that whilst some of you were actually doing your other thing, I'd like to share an inspirational little video I created. And this is for you, Rachel, because whilst you were doing that, I thought, do you know what, Ninja, get your groove on with Yakit AppShare Live. So here we go. Let's hope that this is going to work. Just a second. Okay, are you seeing the Yakit, kids?
Yep.
Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm not at the AppShare Live today. I've got a new job. As you can see, I'm the milk tray man. So, all because the lady loves milk tray. Good morning everybody, I am Mr. Bubbly Water, yes, known as Aqua Fizz. Oh, Aqua Fizz, I thought you were going to have me for your breakfast today, not just a little bit of water. You and I could be a match made in heaven.
Hello James, what do you think of today? It's been great fun. I've found lots of new apps to use in the classroom to improve my teaching.
Absolutely fantastic.
Wonderful!
Sad coffee mug.
Happy coffee mug.
Get on with your work.
Thank you for being such a lovely class. Hello, my name is Daniel. What's your name? Are you Daniel or are you Mr. Carrot? I'm not sure.
Hello, my name is Aurelia. Hello, Carrot. Yeah. Hello, Olivia. How are you? Are you well today? This is Carrot sending you lots of love.
Oh, I love Photofania, because Photofania can help us learn loads by using text and pictures and lots of other things. Oh, Photofania, you rock.
I can't wait to go home. Yeah, let's go for a beer. Alright then, name the place and time. Now, let's go. Alright, see you in a bit.
Hey everybody, my name is Faith, my mama is Nina, and I'm learning French. Je m'appelle Faith. Oh Faith, you learning French? Teach me please. Okay, we're trying this again. Morning Cutie Courgette, how are you? I'm tip-top, thank you Cutie Coffee, how are you? I'm fine thanks, yeah I'm fine too. Well, we're both tip-top then. Tip-top, 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 tip-top. Hey, you better watch your right. Or I'll have your iPad if you don't come to behaviour check tonight at 8 PM. That means you, Mark and Nina. Right. Hey, Cutie Coffee. Oh, flipping heck, and Sam's got that wrong. Oh, Cutie Coffee, what am I? Am I a crochet or a coffee? Oh, do you know what? I'm going to put this in the AppShare anyway, because it's a complete and absolute mess up. Yeah, you are a mess up, Crochet, honest to God.
Okay.
Lots of applause there for you, Nina.
Well, one does try, even with one's special needs.
Oh, don't be silly. Thank you ever so much for sharing. Right. Thank you, Nina. Any questions for Nina at all? Rachel?
No, get off. Get off.
Sorry. I was just going to say that Nina's absolutely right. If you've got special needs children in your classroom, things like Yakit and Telegami really, really help them to express themselves and to be able to maybe express something more clearly than they would be able to in written format. And I think the fact that with an iPad you can actually take away the blocker to them showing that they're learning, which I think is really important.
No, I agree totally. Thank you very much, Rachel, and thank you for sharing that in your comments, Tina. Love the video at the end, although I don't think I'll be taking up the role of milk tray man straight away. Right, so I'll just share my screen. I've got a quick and honestly, it's probably the least sexy presentation of the day, actually. So I'm going to share my screen, like so. And if one of you, perhaps Rachel, you could just unmute your microphone for a second, just to let me know if you can see my iPad. Can you see my iPad?
I can see your iPad, yeah.
Brilliant. So look, I'm lucky enough to work with lots of people in lots of schools in lots of different ways, but one of the things that you really want children to be able to do is to have access to being able to take notes. And when iOS was updated not so long ago, a big update came in which completely transformed how you can use notes on your iPad. Loads of great new features. Now, many people will know about the that you can draw by tapping onto the wiggly line, and then you've got a variety of tools like the ruler that you can use to help you draw your lines like so and what have you. And this is a very nice little way of being able to sketch things and what have you, and you can sort of tie it into maths, thinking about the angles that the ruler's at and all the rest of it. Lots of people know about that feature, but quite a few others don't know about other things that you can do. So I'm just going to run through some of the things that you can do. So I'll pop in a title, triangles, and these are my notes about triangles. So let's say I've done some work on triangles in Pages. So what I can do is I can sort of flip across to Pages, find the work that I've done on triangles, and go to my Share option here, open in another app, and I'll choose whatever option. I'll go for Pages, and I can just go to Notes, choose the notes, the note that I want to send it to. So it's the triangles one here at the top. I hit Save. And that has now sent that Pages document to my notes. So if I go into my notes, we'll now see that Pages document sits underneath. Fantastic. What else can I do? Well, if I do some research on the internet about triangles, so here's a site that I want to refer to and have links to, 3 of my notes. Okay, and I can tap on the share and I can go to notes, and it'll send that web page through to my notes. Make sure I choose the right note again, which is already chosen. Hit Save. And I can keep doing that for all my research. Just tap on notes like so. Should still be the right one, but I'll double check. There we go. Hit Save. If I pop back into my notes again, what will I see? Not only my Pages document, but my research as well. My sketches at the top, my actual typed text is there as well. And you can send lots of different things through to your notes. So here's a very short video I made earlier using Explain Everything to demonstrate that when you add up all the corner angles of a triangle, it equals 180. So I just go to here, I just go to my share, and guess what? I can tap notes and drop that in my notes as well. Now, I love things like Google Classroom and Shobi and Seesaw and all the rest of it. But actually, when you're in a one-to-one environment, you want some way in which children can sort of bring all of their different bits of work and notes through together for themselves. Okay, it's great for us as teachers to want to have bits of work handed in and so forth and so on. But actually, what's really helpful for children to have those things in one place. Now, again, Google Drive can help with some of that, but it can't do as much as this. And so I wanted to share albeit not very sexy, a very important thing that I think can have a big impact on helping kids in the classroom to keep on top of all their work and so forth and so on. Because sometimes you need that, don't you? So that's my presentation done. Hopefully you all saw that okay and what have you. I just wanted to share really how powerful the Notes app now is. You can spend a couple of quid on things like Notability, which are great and what have you, but actually do you have to when you've got this available to you now? Listen, we've had more presenters than ever on today, and we've run over the hour by 15 minutes, but the feedback I've been seeing from Twitter and so forth and so on has been absolutely stellar, and I think that's because of the class of presenters we've had today and the quality of the ideas coming from your classrooms. Listen, thank you so much. And if you put your microphones back on, just thank you so much, Rachel and Nina and Laura, John, Laurent, Chris and Kat. Thank you so much for sharing your ideas today. I really genuinely appreciate it, as I'm sure that the people do who've been watching and what have you as well. Our next, if you're interested, our next event is going to be on, drum roll please while I bring my calendar up. It's going to be a bit later in April than the date at the moment, because unfortunately I'm working abroad and what have you. So
no, tell us where you're working, Mark. No, tell us.
So I go to Australia and doing a conference in Melbourne with Teach Tech Play. Which I'm really excited about, and then the week after that, well, I've got some work in the UK first, but then the Wednesday after that, I'm off to Cyprus for a few days to do some work there.
Following in my footsteps, I'm Mark Anderson.
Yes, thank you very much, Nina. And so then, yeah, we're looking at the 23rd of April for the next App Share Live. It'll be 10 AM again, GMT, and hopefully you'll consider joining us again in the future. Thank you so much, guys. I genuinely really appreciate it. So
thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
Is there somebody who wants to say hello, Chris?
Yeah, Charlie, come here. No.
No.
I've got 3 here. Very.
Hello.
Hello, Charlie.
Hello. Thank you. Sorry about that.
That's not a problem.
The growing children out of bed.
My final thanks really then goes to the people who tuned in to join us. I'm now having a little party. Yeah, thanks to everybody who's been and watched today. Thank you so much. Until the next time, thank you. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye.